In this episode, we are going to discuss how easy it is to fall into judgment and how much harder the path to be non-judgmental is, and the paradigms that come into play, all those tiny tentacles of who we are and our belief systems, what we've grown up with, those imprints of other people that stick with us. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Hi and welcome to Oaklaw Door. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claire Attio. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you. And as I said, that ease in which we slip into judgment, even when we are working not to put our perspectives on others, and how much more challenging it is to step away and to allow people to be who they are, where they're at, and meeting them in their moment. And this video is inspired because I failed miserably the weekend. I'm going to be honest. It was very interesting. As some of you know, it was the summer solstice. Well, everybody knows it was the summer solstice, but some of you know that I go to the stone circle and I was in ceremony. And it's interesting. I don't go to Stonehenge because there are so many people there, and the sacredness for me isn't as potent. And so I go to a little known stone circle that is becoming more known. That was evident, where the ceremony feels more sacred. It feels more potent in the energy. But as I said, it's getting more known. And I'm not convinced that is because obviously people are out there. I believe it's because spirituality is becoming so mainstream, and even for those that wouldn't normally open themselves up to exploring spirituality are starting to explore it. And that was what came up for me, because it was interesting, because as I said, it's a sacred ceremony and we were in circle, and there were a few times throughout that ceremony that people broke the circle, and that irritated the hell out of me, and judgment came up. And at the time I was just in those feels. I was in that and it wasn't until I'd gotten home and I reflected on my own reaction, because that's what it was. It wasn't a response, it was a reaction of those moments. Was I able to step back and go, wow, okay, so there are still imprinted beliefs, there are still imprinted values and judgments within me because of those beliefs. And I had to be honest with myself about where I was 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Would I have known not to break the circle? Now, I believe I probably would. There's an innate connection there. But that's not to say that there weren't other things that I did when I first started exploring my spirituality that didn't irritate the hell out of somebody who has more experience, because I stepped into a field of unknown quantity, and I wasn't yet at a place and a space where I was being guided by the energies I was feeling. it was interesting because, as I said, I was irritated, and yet it was magical to see so many people be there, see so many people and their willingness to be open, to explore. And that is what we've been wanting. That is what the new era is all about. And yet I was there going, that was me, that was mine, that was my ish, that for a split second I was projecting out. And yet when I took a breath, when I took the time to be introspective, I was able to see that I was trying to place my beliefs on a younger generation. And I don't have that right. None of us have that right. And just because they're younger doesn't mean that they do not have a way, a force, an energy, an insight, a connection that is just as strong, that is just as potent, that is just as magical. They may not go about it in the way that my generation did. We didn't go about it the way our generations before us went about it. And that's the progression. And that is something we have to start getting comfortable with. Is not judge by our own standards, by our own paradigms, by our own beliefs, but to hold space, loving space, so they can explore and experiment and find the magic within them. It was a bitter pill to swallow that I actually reacted like that. I was shocked at myself. And then I had to apply the forgiveness. Where did that come from? How did that get there? What still needs healing within me? Because we don't have the right to judge each other. We only have the right to make judgments for what is right for us. That's not judging other people. It's just making judgments about what is right for us. And this comes up not just in spirituality. This comes up in our working lives, in our family lives, in the way we want and observe people raising their children, in our values of society. I encourage each and every one of you that is viewing this video, where are you still projecting judgment onto another? I'm not talking about making a judgment call for yourself. Where are you projecting judgments onto others? People will enter your life that do not resonate with you, that you do not want to mix your energies with, that your belief system says they're not for you. That's not for you. That's a judgment call. A judgment is when we are projecting our beliefs onto them and going, well, they're doing that wrong, and they did it, like me with people that walked out of the circle. They broke the circle. That's a judgment. I'm judging them. When we become mindful, when we exercise this knowledge between making a judgment call and being judgmental, that is when we start to create massive ripples of peace, because we no longer project. And it's not easy. I've been on the spiritual pathway for over a decade, and I found myself falling into the trap that I've been teaching not to fall into. It's innately within us. It's easy to judge others by our own beliefs, standards, values. That's easy. The hardest part is to take a breath, to become mindful, and to go, okay, that belongs to me. That is something within me that still needs a little bit of healing, a little bit of releasing. None of us are perfect. We were never meant to be what we perceive to be perfect. We were just meant to be the perfection of who we are, authentically. So I just wanted to leave you with that. I just wanted to give a reminder. There are lots of energies out there that are willing, wanting, casting for us to fall back into old patterns. And it's our responsibility to say no. It's our responsibility to be observant of ourselves and our actions, and to rectify those times when we fall down. It's about picking ourselves up. It's not about being wrong. It's not about failure. Failure only exists when we fall down and we stay down. If you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, take the lesson, take the learning, make the changes, show up for yourselves, and we can create massive positive change on this planet. That's why I love doing these videos. It's not all about perfection. It's not all about, oh, Claire knows what she's doing. No, Claire falls on her ass many, many, many times. But I own it. I own it. And I encourage each and every one of you to own all the times that you fall on your ass. You may not want to get on a video and talk about it. That's fine. But own it for yourselves. Learn from it, grow from it, evolve. If you've liked the video, then hit that like button. If you've not yet subscribed, then please subscribe. You have lasted to the end of the video, so please subscribe. And I'll see you on the next ones, beautiful souls. Bye-bye.